Hey, peace and blessings to everybody. So, look, I had to hop on here real quick so that I can get this out. This is kind of something that through meditation, I had a very vivid dream last night, and I often do have very vivid dreams. Just things come to me in dreams, really big downloads come to me, and then once I take time out for prayer and meditation, then a lot of the time, what came to me in the dream can often make sense of itself in the 3D. So, look, let's talk about ancestral veneration real quick. I know a lot of you guys are out there on that tip. Um, Venerate your ancestors. You hear it a lot. I wonder a lot of the time if anybody has ever taken the time to really look out and pay attention to what it means to actually venerate. Even by basically looking up the word venerate, if you look it up in the dictionary, literally it is spoken to mean revere. When you look up the word revere, revere means to treat with respect and awe. Now let's talk about something. So look, now my family, I come from a very traditionally Christian based family where, we believe in God, and I believe in God very heavy. There's nothing that will ever shift me from that. But I also believe in venerating my ancestors because of the fact that my ancestors, and you'll hear a lot of very deeply spiritual people say this. People who have been at this a long time, you will often hear them say they will never doubt the fact that when we talk about veneration and we talk about, we talk about honoring the dead and respecting them, it is largely dead amongst our people because it's not something that our people did. You have to remember that a lot of us who were bought here, if we were even bought here, because even that's some bullshit, a lot of us who were bought here, we were stripped of our heritage, of where we came from. Yes, we know about Africa. Yes, we know about the many countries and tribes and indigenous. Yes, we know about that. But we've been here long before they came here. Long before they came here. In the same way that they stripped it from natives, they tried to take it from them, that they made their cultures, they made their rites of passage, they made the dancing, they made everything about being a native illegal. And they did that in modern times, up until recently. So what the hell you think they did to us back in the time when shit was left unchecked and they didn't have cameras, they didn't have phones, they didn't have devices to record, they didn't even have fucking human rights. So let's take it back to the purpose of veneration. The reason why this video is titled Venerate to Liberate is because you gotta understand, we understand, what they say in here in the 3D, in the physical, about the effects of slavery. But the thing is that for some people, I feel like you never understand anything until you really experience it yourself. Now, for a lot of us black people who have ancestral ties to slavery, our ancestors were slaves, that shit is in our DNA. That shit is in this melanin that you carry with you. You carry that trauma. Every time you have unregistered fears that don't even connect, you carry that shit. Okay? Like, that shit is in you. That's some shit that no other race could understand besides you. So, look, let's break it down like this, because my mind is kind of like going crazy, because this is really a point that has to get out. It's very, very important. Let's talk about slavery and really the spiritual effects of slavery. So a lot of the time we think that here in this 3D realm, in this school of life, when you are living here in this school of life, after you are done here, you're done. And even in Christianity, and even in Christianity and more looser versions of Christianity, even they know that shit's not true. That's why you hear a lot of people saying, after their loved ones pass away, that they're out there in heaven watching over you. That's true to an extent. But you got to understand, with slavery, the atrocities of slavery, as with any atrocities of extreme trauma that takes place, it fucks you up mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. So you see a lot of physical damage. You know there's a lot of mental damage. There's a lot of emotional damage. You talking about atrocities where mothers had their babies getting snatched from them. We're in chains. We're forced to work, 15 to 20 hours a day, depending on the conditions. Our children eating slop, malnourished, watching our families not getting the health that they need, on top of all of the fucking experimentation that they did on us for these medical advancements that we see taking place, which is still basic as shit. It still doesn't benefit us as a people. They're still killing us to this day. So let's talk about the fact that we're still holding biological genetic trauma within us that takes place from slavery. And we have to talk about the importance of those of us who are literally waking up to the path of ancestral veneration. Don't get on my live telling me that what I'm doing is wrong or that I'm worshiping the devil or any of that shit. I don't want to fucking hear it. Because look, here's the deal. I believe in God. I pray to God every day. Not only for the sanctity of myself and my child and my family that's here in this realm, but I also pray for my family that's beyond this realm. That has quote unquote gone with God, according to what these white men have taught us. Because look, if you think that the effects of slavery don't carry over after life, after you have died, if you think that shit don't haunt our people beyond the grave, you're tripping. You're tripping balls. And if you want to talk about honoring those who came before you, venerate them. Revere them. Treat them with respect and awe. They need that. Can you imagine dying, being born as a slave and dying as a slave? Do you think that you're just free because you died? That death was your ultimate freedom? Like that shit doesn't carry over? Why do you think it carries over into the bloodline? Into our children? Into us? Why do you think we walking around out here getting killed, being targets of such fucking mistreatment? Like that shit carries over in our DNA. I'm not talking about the things that people make willful choices to do to us. I'm talking about us carrying that trauma in our DNA on a DNA level. You even have to look at biological evolution, how biology evolves. You put a lab rat under significant amount of stress and watch that lab rat carry that particular amount of stress towards that particular stimulus for 7 generations plus. And now, for a lot of us, here we are on the 7th generation. Here we are in this new generation where you see a lot of new ones like me, like a lot of other young men and women out there who are turning back to their roots, who are turning away from this Christianity that they taught us, that they gave to us, by the way, because that shit don't originate with us. We're turning away from that and turning towards venerating our ancestors. We're turning towards liberating our ancestors, because our ancestors have been crying out for that, because even beyond this realm, they're still not free. You talk about the notion of freeing our people, of there being a better world for our people, of creating a better life for our people. Venerate our people. Venerate our ancestors. Liberate our ancestors. And watch as the generations who come after us, even in our generation, because it's starting, the shit's taking off. But it has to be done the right way. It doesn't happen overnight. Slavery didn't happen overnight. Stripping us of our roots, stripping us of who we are as a people, stripping us of our history, did not happen overnight. Therefore, regaining it does not happen overnight. This is something that takes time through generations. Venerate your ancestors to liberate your ancestors. They need that. You have to understand that even beyond this realm, which very few people are aware of because very few people can genuinely project beyond it. Beyond this realm, slavery, those chains still exist. The notion of slavery and being harmed the way they were here in the physical does not exist to that extent. But slavery, the slave mentality still exists. And when you venerate, to revere, to treat with respect and awe, you are introducing a concept to your ancestors that they did not even know within their physical living life. That shit is important. That shit is important. They have to know that they are worthy of being treated with respect and awe. They have to see that the generations that came up out of their loins still sees the amazing life within them, so that they can return that to you. Or if you believe in the concept of reincarnation, when they come back, it's already written in the Akashic records for them. This shit is real out here. This shit is so serious. I can't even go into the detail of the shit that I know and I feel in my heart and I have seen. The shit beyond what anybody in this world can show me. And yeah, I know for some of my family members out there, y'all probably watching this video going, what the hell is wrong with this girl? But no, this is my truth. This is the truth. Our ancestors deserve the world. Especially considering everything they've been through. Especially considering the fact that being black in America is an experience that's singularly unique to us that nobody else in the world could ever understand. Not even black people from Africa, from the motherland continent. We came here well before they got here. They got here, decided that we would make excellent cattle. Strip us of our humanity, strip us of our traditions. They tried with the natives. Look at the history of the natives. Look at their history. Look at what they did to them. The documented history. And then look at the lies that they put for our history. A lot of us are waking up now. This whole big spiritual movement, that's the awakening. That's the shift. And it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in a year. This happens over generations. But I know and I hope by the time my lifetime is over, strides have been made to venerate our ancestors and respect them and revere them and treat them with awe and the love and the knowing and the compassion that they deserve many times over when they were here. Because we have to understand we're not only working with the ancestors, our ancient ancestors who have been here through a couple life cycles, but we have to be able to work through the stumbling block of slavery. And that's all it is a big ass stumbling block. Once we can work that out amongst ourselves, they can't stop us. Nobody can. Alright, I love y'all. Sorry, I just had to get this message out. I don't even know why I'm saying sorry. This is important, especially for you guys out there that believe in veneration and venerating your ancestors. And what venerating your ancestors really looks like is, a lot of the time people think you doing some witchcraft or some shit like that. Really, a lot of the time what it is, even in the most basic form, I'm gonna tell you the most basic form of it really is praying to God for their veneration, praying to God for their liberation, for their upliftment. praying to God for their freedom, praying to God for the chains that were placed on them at one point to be uplifted and taken off of them. Praying to God so that they can be there and protect you and provide for you a great life. Praying to God that He protects them in the realms that is beyond this 3D. You have to understand the gift of being here in the 3D. It is such a huge gift to be here in the 3D, to be here in this realm, in this reality, because in this reality, people often minimize and understate the power of being here. Being here, not only in being here can you literally undo all the physical karma that you bring upon yourself, you can undo the celestial karma that you've been holding on to in the ethers. You can start breaking generational curses. And the same way that shit starts for you in the spiritual and it leaks down to the physical, the way those blessings come in from spiritual to physical is the same way how the curses are broken from physical to spiritual. You live that shit. If you say you're here to break generational curses and to make a change in your family and to make a change with the way that shit has been going on in your family, and when I'm just starting with family, we can even take this down to self. Because in self, it all comes down to habits and patterns of what you allow for yourself, how you respect yourself, how you give onto yourself. That starts with the physical. Show it in the physical and then watch it manifest in the spiritual. It's all literally, if you want to look at it, it's like a big ass conveyance belt. It goes back and forth. Blessings, curses, breaking it, retraining, redoing, undoing. It's all a big cycle. And I know a lot of you guys are really fairly new in this. I'm even fairly new in this. And I can admit that. But I've been at it long enough to have seen the patterns, to have made sense of certain things. And this message, it had to get out. I don't even be on here like this talking about stuff like this. I really don't. But anyway, you guys go ahead and take care. Venerate your ancestors so you can liberate them. For real. Do that. Your ancestors deserve that. And that goes for my white followers, my followers of other, ethnicities. It's the same concept. And I know for a lot of white folks out there, they hold a lot of misunderstanding with that. Because even liberating your ancestors from a certain thought form and pattern, liberation runs deep. Liberation just ain't breaking chains. Liberation is liberating your mind, liberating your spirit, liberating your mental, your emotional. Come on, y'all. We got this. This big ass movement towards spirituality ain't happening for no reason. So let's get out here and show them how it's done. I love all of y'all. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves. I hope you guys are practicing self-care and living your best life to your best extent. Okay? I love you guys. I'll talk to you guys later. Ashe. Peace.